Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. So if you've been keeping up with the channel, you know that I've been getting into sumo and I've been doing it for a little bit here and there. Previously made a video about my first sumo class and where I got to meet all these cool sumo guys, and they invited me to the Sakura Cup, to this tournament, to come check it out. I did. I met a ref there, Packy Bannevans, and I got to do an interview with him. Packy is amazing. He is so knowledgeable about sumo, just about the whole process. Obviously, he's a ref. Of course, he's knowledgeable, but he has a big background in sumo. And just the stuff that the questions I got to ask and everything we got to go over was so fun and so knowledgeable. It was just such a great time. So let's go over the interview with Packy Bannevans.
My name is Packy Bannevans, and for today I was one of the gyoji, or referee, for the Sakura Cup.
All right. Hey, thanks for talking with me today, man. Now, how does one get into this type of work?
I actually came about it because I used to live in Japan and did sumo wrestling when I was in Japan and earned my black belt there. And when I came back to the U.S., started working with the U.S. Sumo Federation. So I was a wrestler once upon a time, but now that I'm old, I had to switch to being a referee.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So you've been doing it a long time. At least you get to still stay in the action in a way, right?
Yeah, I started in 1993, so a little over 30 years now.
Wow, that's amazing, man. And it's good to follow. It's hard to find anyone to follow any type of passion that long, but to stick with this type of stuff is very hard, man.
Yeah, there's a pretty hardcore group. There's not so many of us, just a few hundred in the United States, so definitely a niche sport, but I love it. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely, man. I can see it out there. I see just your passion, the way you come out when you referee. It was interesting to come in and just see y'all do your thing today, man. And you know, and I really, this is a quick question, just something to clear up for me.
Sure.
Now, I notice obviously here in most of this level, you say go, that's when they go.
That's correct.
Right. But in the higher level, is it a little different?
It's absolutely different. The professional ranks, they actually kind of time it up with each other. And once the fourth hand goes down, it doesn't matter which person it is, but the fourth hand goes down, they charge at each other. But it's a really hard thing to do. So in amateur sumo, to eliminate the false starts and things like that, we actually call the fight and have the combatants fight once the referee says go.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier in the beginning, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that it's a very interesting thing with that, that's the hardest part of me, been working out, the little subtlety difference now. And there's also, I noticed there's a difference, you're a little bit more, I don't want to use the word aggressive, but you can do a little more in the pros, the higher level than this level, correct?
As far as the wrestling techniques? Yeah. So there are a couple of things in amateur we don't allow, like slapping to the face. That's probably the biggest thing that you would see different, and that's pretty much for injuries, to try and avoid any types of concussions or injuries like that. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's I've actually seen guys in professional sumo knocked out cold from getting slapped to the face, so we try and avoid that in amateur sumo.
I see that too. And why wouldn't they just try to do that all the time? Why?
Well, when you're doing a slapping technique like that, if you overcommit to it, you actually lose balance, and balance is a very important part of sumo. So typically you're going to see the wrestlers move one side of their body at the same time, so right arm, right leg, left arm, left leg. But when you make that thrust to the face, it's pretty much an all-out shot. So if you miss, or if you don't make good contact with it, you're probably overcommitted and you're going to end up losing the fight.
Wow. Now, obviously you've been involved in the sport a long time, so in a sense it was probably, not the word easier, but a little easier to get into refereeing. But what do you have to do to get into refereeing if you've never done sumo? You're like, I want to ref sumo. What do you got to do?
Absolutely. If you're really interested in it and you actually have some sumo knowledge, we pretty much take anyone on. We'll do training for you. We've done seminars online, Zoom calls, things like that, to try and get people from around the country qualified. And the International Sumo Federation also offers training that you can do. And right now they're doing that Zoom. It used to be in person, but after COVID, they started allowing that. So I sometimes take training that's going on in Japan in the morning, and then it's like 9 o'clock at night in Atlanta. So yeah,
I see. So it's okay. Well, that's good, because I feel like in a sport like this, it's good that you got a little bit of a mix. You can also get in there and learn, and because it seems like it would be more beneficial to have that extensive knowledge. You mentioned earlier black belt. Is that black belt in sumo?
That's correct.
And they have belts in sumo. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they have belts. Yeah, they have belts in sumo too, just like in other martial arts. We have our own system in amateur sumo. There's belt testing involved. It's a knowledge based as well as I wouldn't say a skills based, but it's understanding the different techniques and all the warm up exercises and everything that goes along with sumo. And it just gets progressively harder as you go along. You have to learn more and more techniques. But yeah, I just tested someone today for their blue belt, which would be Nikkyu. So they've got brown and then black to go. So yeah, it's a very it's a way of getting people involved so that you can sort of see your progress as you go along. If you didn't have any sort of belt system, then people just kind of give up on it because they don't see themselves progressing, I think.
Right, I understand that. Yeah, it's always good. You know, it's like for the real diehards, you don't really have to worry much about anything. They'll always come back. You
That's
know, it's
right.
like, but for the average person, just it helps track that progression and interesting like that. It's so what is it like a belt? Is it the Mawashi? Is it that's the color?
No, actually, the people that wear colored belts here, that's just something they've done themselves.
Right. Okay.
If you saw some people that had a small patch of cloth on the side of it, not the ones in front that maybe have a club name on them, but on the side that maybe were yellow or orange or something like that, that indicates their belt level.
Oh, okay, I see. That's very interesting. Yeah, I've been watching sumo now for a little bit. I didn't even notice that, but I guess kind of assume though, I like the Grand Sumo, everyone's pretty much black belt at that point, right? Like,
well, the guys in professional sumo, I don't guess they do the same type of ranking system. It's more for amateur sumo.
Oh, okay, I see.
Basically in sumo, if you win, you go up. If you lose, you go down.
Yeah, easy peasy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. It's a fun time. I respect how just like dedicated everyone is and how quiet they are. And it's funny how like that culture has brought to here. I mean, obviously, you know, we're a rowdy bunch. We're in the South. We're not the quietest, but we were pretty quiet. You know, for everyone. You know, very respectful for a group of gathering. You know, it's like
that's right.
I love it. Is that something that you like noticed in like your comings and goings?
Yeah, actually sometimes we actually try and get the crowd involved more and try and get them loud because we know that people enjoy it more if they have someone to root for. So sometimes we'll just say, pick this guy or this guy, and we'll say their name and say everybody who wants this guy yell his name and everybody who wants this guy yell his name, just to try and get the crowd into it more.
Okay. Wow, man. Well, I tell you what, man, I could talk. It seems like I could talk to you all day about this, but I thank you for your time. I just wanted to get a little perspective of what it was like to be a ref at one of these things.
Absolutely.
I do that for. This is a process I'm going to be doing in a lot of the martial arts I cover, is talking to the refs, seeing how they got their background. A lot of times very similar to you, very dedicated into something, and you do it because you love it, spare time. Can't quite live the life we wanted to live anymore, so we like to live vicariously through people. It's what we got to do.
Very true.
It keeps us alive,
Very true.
I appreciate it again. I want you to just give me your name, and if you want to plug anything, like any of your stuff, just go ahead.
My name is Packy Bannevans, and I am a member of the Georgia Sumo Club. We operate out of Atlanta, Georgia. And if you're interested in any of the sumo activities, you can go to the United States Sumo Federation website and check it out. So if you're interested, please tune into that.
All right, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate
Absolutely.
You. All right, guys, there you go. So that was the interview with Packy. What a guy, right? His knowledge of sumo is amazing. Everything he knew, the time he spent in Japan, and just how long he's been at it. I mean, I just can't stress enough how, I know it may be hard if you're watching this video and you're not into sumo, then I don't know why the hell you would be watching it. But I know it's hard if you're into something to, just get the ball rolling and just get it going. But look at someone like Packy, and he's still got so much time and so many things he wants to do with sumo. He's just living his best dream with his passion. And it's just so hard to find people like this. You just got to cherish them, man, and just try to be like these people, live in their dreams. And I don't know what else to say about it other than it's hard. Like I mentioned to him, it's hard to follow a dream and just pursue it to great lengths in general. And he's doing it with something hard like this, traveling the world, experiencing life. It's just truly honorable and awesome. And I can't wait to do the same type of things as this guy right here. I mean, I'm getting into them and I'm doing them now, but to live a life like this is a dream, and we should look up to people like Packy and try to live the best life we can, right, with what we got. And if that means getting to go to Japan and travel and get to see great things, I think if you get the chance, do it. I know I am going to if I can. I learned so many things I didn't know. I had questions just about the slapping and seeing like him mentioning, well, the whole thing about sumo is balance, and like, well, that makes perfect sense. It's just getting all these questions answered. And I didn't know about the belt system in I guess the lower league, or maybe whatever leagues that they do, but they have belts in sumo. I didn't know that. That's amazing. And maybe we could do more about that later on. We're never going to stop with our martial arts, and we're going to pursue all of them as deep as we can. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you stuck around this long, please remember to comment. I would love to know what you thought about the video. What do you think about Packy, his story, everything? Just please comment. Let me know. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube bullshit, of course. Just stick around. We got plenty more martial arts stuff coming. Thanks a lot, guys.